Well, baseball is coming. Pitchers and catchers report in about 2 weeks. That's when the evaluation period begins for these players. But can players be graded on more than just statistics? Our guest tonight believes the answer to that is yes. He is a sports attorney, an agent, and a New York Times best-selling author. Burton Rocks joins us. Burton, my good friend, good to have you in studio, man.
Great to be here, Steve.
And I'm so glad that we're here talking about this because this is really stretching our idea of what a metric is. Everybody has heard of sabermetrics, but you've created, I guess, a new form of measuring tool, if you will. We've heard of the IQ test, but you're calling this the QI test. What is that?
It's a quantified intangible sheet that I created, and it basically measures what's immeasurable, the quantified intangibles, as I call it, of a player. And if you think about it, it's almost like a forest, and there are two major trees. And of the trees, they have branches. And I group them into unique personal attributes and unique personal achievements for this player. And you add them up and you get a total of 10-point score.
You called this a little bit of a hybrid between old school baseball and Moneyball, if you will. I mean, this is going to help those players that, I guess, fall between the cracks. How many times have we seen a guy come out of nowhere and have a sensational season or a sensational career that we didn't expect to see coming? How do you identify these guys? What kind of guys are you really identifying?
I'm identifying the same top-level draft picks as everybody else, but I'm looking at them from their personal background, and I'm trying to get the most out of them and for them to get the most out of themselves. So what I'm looking for is how they're overcoming of adversity, because every athlete has adversity, everyone, no exceptions, how they've overcome it, what they feel are their best attributes, what their family feels are their best attributes. And we're quantifying it in such a way that it's a supplement to what's in existence. It doesn't go against sabermetrics, it doesn't go against old school baseball, but it really is a hybrid and something I know the next generation has really bought into and believed in.
Okay, so what are some of the measurables in this 10-point metric?
Okay, so an example would be, everybody uses the word tenacity. Well, that could be a whole broad range of things, but if you ask a player what makes them tenacious, give concrete examples in their life on and off the field of play. Have they ever sacrificed themselves for the betterment of their team or the betterment of their family? Have they had personal hardships that they feel has translated into on-the-field work? Maybe they've battled a childhood illness. Maybe they had a parent that battled an illness. Maybe they had a different environment growing up, and maybe that made them the stronger person that they are.
You're using this as a supplement to someone's resume. All right, but if somebody lacks those attributes, could it actually hurt them when you measure them in any way?
It wouldn't hurt them because you're not grading somebody. You're not grading somebody. I had life-threatening asthma as a kid. You're not grading my code blues with somebody else's problem. You're just giving them points for overcoming adversity. And at the end of the day, a team, because this is where we are at the draft, a team, whether it's at the draft or even free agency, you look at a free agent, will have to decide, yes, there are players with the same numbers on the field. Now let's go to the quantified intangible sheet. Let's use that as the tiebreaker. So it could help the other person, as I say, as opposed to hurting. It's more of a supplement to the person to put them over the finish line. I like to think of it in the positive sense.
Okay, so if your IQ is something that is not easily adjustable, this is something that is constantly being adjusted.
Absolutely.
Your QI on a daily basis is being adjusted. In fact, you could have a former NFL quarterback decide that he wants to go and play baseball, and his previous life experiences, in theory, would be able to help him on the baseball field.
He might be a 5 out of 10, and his QI goes and grades out to a 9 out of 10. And he's helped in a different way than he never thought possible.
Ultimately, what do you want people to learn from being able to measure something that is somewhat immeasurable?
Well, what I would like is I would really like to revolutionize baseball in the way executives think. We all understand sabermetrics. We all understand old school. There's a way for both to coexist. This is the way it coexists. And I think with a better vetting system in sports, we will get really great coaches. I mean, I've seen, and great players, and I think it can be used on both ends of the spectrum. And I've seen it work from my own clients on the coaching end and on the playing end.
Well, we're certainly crossing our fingers, and we're hoping that other people start to recognize, how to measure the unquantifiable, if you will. Sports attorney and agent Burton Rocks, great to have you in studio, man. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.